Now, Matt Baker and his wife, Nicola, are here now. We saw them recently sharing family life on their farm in the Dales. And they're about to celebrate 20 years of marriage. It's so good to have you both here
together. So we thought we'd come on to celebrate with you.
Well, I wouldn't have had it any other way. And I'm very privileged because you don't do this together a lot. This doesn't really happen.
No, we don't. We did, we did our farm in the Dales, obviously together with the whole family, which we sort of filmed over lockdown. But we haven't. Well, this actually is our very first live interview together.
It is, It's lovely to have you both because life is busy. We know that. We've seen you all working on the farm. But like we say also, it's 20 years of marriage this year. It's been a long journey together, you know, a lot has happened.
Well, it's fun adventure. I think that is the key, you know. And when you think back to how it all started, I mean, we weirdly met. So I was a gymnast when I was a lot younger, and I ended up in a sort of a 1970s reenactment group, right, that used to tour around nightclubs because I would do backflips and something. Oh, there I am, look, gymnastics.
Very pointy toes, very impressive.
I was a lot younger then, but then I ended up in this in this disco inferno, it was called. And I was backflipping and somersaulting on stage. I used to dress up, wigs, all that, so you would never know who I was. And one of the clubs that we went to was up around the northeast in Cleethorpes, around the north. And Nicola used to go to the night, and that, weirdly, is how we met. She never knew it was me up on stage.
I didn't know that was him.
I spotted her there. Love at first sight for me.
It was the wig, wasn't it, Nicola? You went, that is the wig,
But a world away from the farm. And then Nicola got introduced to the farm, didn't you?
I did,
Well, that's the thing, Nicola, because farming's always been an integral part of your life, Matt, and your family's life. But it wasn't for you, Nicola.
No, I wasn't brought up on a farm, and my first real experience of farming was when I met Matthew as a teenager. And then the first time I went on a farm, I fell in love with it. I just fell in love with farming in the countryside and just that way of life.
Yeah, and being very passionate about it as well, and trying to constantly encourage people to come into the industry, isn't it?
And this is the point. Certainly throughout my entire career, I've done everything that I can to sort of shine a light on our rural community and what goes on in the British countryside. You know, I'm so passionate about it.
And Countryfile does that very well.
And Countryfile, absolutely. And when it moved to its evening slot, it was fascinating for me to sort of help turn it into more of a kind of, you know, a lifestyle type programme, opening all generations to farming. We used to do a lot of filming back on our farm when I was on Blue Peter, and that's just continued. And now we've got this new Saturday night show that's starting, and what that's doing is it's shedding a light on tenant farming, because not a lot of people realise that you can rent a farm or rent land and have it, you know, try and make it as a farmer. So we've got these 7 shortlisted applicants. We're doing it with the National Trust, and we're supersising the selection process for them to try and acquire this 10-year tenancy. And it's a 3-week process. There's brilliant candidates in there. And here they are. They're from all walks of the kind of rural life, if you like. We've got vets, we've got livestock auctioneers, farm consultants, and the National Trust have this amazing opportunity to watch them on the very farm that they're hoping to take on, so that they can show how capable they are.
And if they're the right fit for the farm.
Absolutely.
We actually have a clip as well, just to see them all.
Yeah.
Here it is, Matt.
Welcome to Wallington, the striking, rugged beauty of Northumberland.
Around a third of Britain's farmland is rendered to tenant farmers, and here on the Wallington estate, there's a vacant farm.
This challenging landscape has been farmed for centuries, and there's a real air of excitement because this part of the world is about to welcome its newest tenant farmer to take this land into the next decade.
So interesting, and this is a lifelong dream for so many families to take on a tenancy like this. It's a huge deal. There's a lot on offer for them, but it's a big process to end up living there.
Very, very difficult, very challenging. The number of people that are applying for these tenancies, and there's so few farms out there. And the aim is to start a 10-year tenancy. Hopefully it's going to be a lot longer. Hopefully, you know, their families and generations will be able to continue that tenancy. But to get a foot on the ladder, I mean, you know, if you can't afford to buy a farm and you don't have one handed through the generations, how on earth are you meant to get a start here? And it's interesting with all of those applicants there, because one of them is actually a farm consultant who goes on and tells people how to run their own farm. You know, so there's an enormous amount of knowledge there, but they just sometimes haven't got the chance. So we're doing everything we can to give them a start.
And it's interesting, it's on Saturday night too in the Channel 4. It's an interesting time slot, isn't it? In the best possible way, because again, it's a big audience highlighting exactly what you're both very passionate about. And as you were saying, Nicola, you came into farming later in life, but it's inspired a series of books for you.
Yes, it has.
And it's called Finding Hope. How did that come about?
Well, I used to love writing a lot when I was younger, and I've always written, and I've written quite a few different books. Then a couple of years ago, I looked at trying to get some books published and things, and Whistledown Farm was a series that I'd come up with. So Finding Hope is the first book in these Whistledown Farm adventures, all set in a different season. So you can get the farming calendar in, the countryside calendar. So the first one's about a little girl called Ava who moves to stay with her aunt and uncle on a farm. And she's not used to farming and animals and things like that, but she finds that she loves it. And just like I did, really, when I started farming with Matthew, I fell in love with it instantly, and it's something I felt really passionate about. And that's what she finds. And, you know, it's lambing time on the farm, and she's sort of thrown in at the deep end, and she just loves it. And she finds this lamb out on the hill that she looks after. And it's all about their story, and it's about her sort of finding what she loves and fitting in, with a bit of a mystery adventure story underneath as well.
So there's a lot of you in the book, really, isn't there?
There's a lot of my experiences in the book, and that was what was lovely, was being able to bring those experiences of the countryside and farming and put them into a book to make it feel as real as possible.
But also to highlight, I know you go to schools as well with the book, and you talk to young children about it, and it's to highlight the sort of the magic that there is being outdoors in the rural life and appreciating our surroundings. So many of us don't have that privilege.
Absolutely.
No. And it's so beautiful to be able to bring that to a younger audience, isn't it? A lot of us
the next
are living in apartments and flats. There's no gardens, there's no outside space.
And the children love it, because I show videos and like pictures and things, and talk to them about animals and farming and where their food comes from and things like that. And the kids love it.
Yeah, they do.
But we're very familiar as parents. We're fortunate that our children have that kind of upbringing, and they understand, the responsibility that comes with that, and the onus that's on them. How helpful it can be, how practical it can be. That you can have a go. For me, growing up on a farm like that, it made me, without question, who I am. You know what I mean? And being dyslexic myself, that practical upbringing was really important.
Of course. No, it's not. And I'm sure you've seen the benefit in your own children.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, animals teach you so much, resilience, kindness, responsibility, teamwork, everything. So,
caring, just having to be caring and, dedicating your lives to other things all of the time. It's so lovely to see you. It's been too long. It's great to have you. You're too busy, you see. You're too busy farming. It's the country air. You can't get away from it. The books are lovely. I started it last night with my little girl, and she adored it. So it was exactly that. It's that buying into this lovely world, isn't it?
And beautifully illustrated by Rachel Dean, as Jacqueline Wilson's illustrator.
Really beautiful.
Beautiful illustrations in it.
And look, congratulations ahead of the big 20-year anniversary. I'm guessing there'll be a big celebration. Is there a party?
By
now that you're here and I'm part of this moment, I expect an invite. So if there's
of course,
let me know.
You're more than welcome to come round on Saturday night and watch our Dream Farm with us as it airs on Channel 4.
Absolutely no problem. Exactly. 8 p.m. on Channel 4, just to be precise.
Thank you,
our Dream Farm. Thank you so much, man. It's lovely to see you.
Thank you,
Nicola. Thank you.